This is WKYT This Morning.
And after a pretty good weekend, we welcome you in to WKYT This Morning on your Monday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your morning. It's February 22nd.
Let's make the best of it, right? It is 6:30 right now, and some suspended Central Kentucky police officers are fighting to get their jobs back. We're live with details on a public hearing being held later this morning.
Police are looking for someone who robbed a Lexington hotel.
And a pickup football game goes viral. How two Lexington police officers' kind gesture has taught some kids a lesson they will never forget.
30s for the most part, 40s down south early this morning. We'll finish off in the 40s and 50s later on today. It's a pretty good day in store. It really isn't all that bad. And we do it again tomorrow, but tomorrow night into Wednesday, that's when things change. I'm going to go over the rain totals and snow totals coming up.
All right, and here's the latest from WKYT. Several police officers who were suspended from the Paris Police Department are now fighting to get their jobs back.
Yeah, the police chief says their conduct was unbecoming of an officer. Today's hearing is open to the public. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Paris to explain a little bit more about this case.
Good morning, Rebecca. The officers who are fighting the disciplinary charges are expected to ask the city attorney as well as the city commissioners to lift their suspension when they meet here at the city municipal building in a few hours for their public hearing. Now, the 6 officers were suspended without pay last week after they were accused of spending too much time in the police station's dispatch center. Since then, 1 officer has resigned, but 5 others are still pushing back against the charges. Their attorney says back in December, the officers were told to cut down on how much time they were spending in the dispatch center. He tells us the officers' records show that they did start cutting back, so it was quite a surprise when they were suspended last week. The law enforcement officials who are now trying to keep their jobs are all decorated officers who have served between 5 and 20 years. Now, of course, today's hearing is a part of their disciplinary process. Now, the meeting will be public, so everyone who is interested in this in the area is invited to come hear it again as they make their case before the city commissioners at 9 this morning here at the municipal building. Live in Paris, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, we'll stay on top of that story through the day. Thank you, Mark. And new this morning, police are investigating an early morning robbery that happened just a few minutes ago at a Lexington hotel. Happened just before 6 o'clock this morning at the Bluegrass Extended Stay on Richmond Road, right in front of the Lowe's there. Police say they are looking for a man who is about 6 feet tall. He was wearing a gray hoodie at the time. No one was hurt in this, and we do not know at this point if a weapon was involved. Police will be looking through surveillance video for more clues.
2 men accused of robbing a woman in a Lexington church parking lot will face a judge this week. Lexington police say Robert Schultz and Harvey Smith asked a woman outside a church on Winchester Road if she needed help carrying items. When she said no, police say one of the men pulled a knife and stole her purse. The 2 were arrested in Scott County after a short police chase. Schultz and Smith will be arraigned in Scott County tomorrow before they face a judge in Lexington for robbery. It was a case that left her neighbors in shock. A Jessamine County mother was arrested after police say she left a 3-year-old home alone for hours.
A lot of the neighbors said they would have been glad to step in and help if they had known. This morning we have learned some new information about her case. WKYT's Mike Byer is joining us now from our live desk for the latest. Mike?
A Jessamine County mom accused of leaving her 3-year-old child home alone is now scheduled to appear in court. 38-year-old Nina Pike of Nicholasville will have her first court appearance on March 3rd at 9 a.m. This after neighbors found a 3-year-old girl wandering outside her home Saturday. That young girl is the daughter of Pike. Police say the mom left her daughter home alone for nearly 9 hours while she was at work. According to the police report, Pike admitted to intentionally leaving her 3-year-old home alone. The shocking discovery has left neighbors devastated and left with many questions.
If her mother had just checked around and said, well, somebody keep her from me so I can work. I'll lease my apartment if I don't work. Heck, I'd have taken her for a couple of days. I'm 71, but I'd have taken her.
Pike is currently being held at the Jessamine County Detention Center on a $1,000 bond. She faces criminal abuse charges. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And happening today, a man accused in a deadly Jackson County stabbing will be facing a judge. Police say Harry Henson stabbed the victim during a fight at a home on Bailey Road. He's charged with murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment. A witness said Henson stabbed the victim after accusing him of stealing medication.
A man shot in Lexington's East End is facing charges while police continue to search for whoever shot him. Police say Raymond McGee was shot 3 times Sunday on Elm Tree Lane and East 6th Street. Police say he is not telling them much about what happened. They say they found drugs on him. He's charged with possession. A Kentucky teacher accused of touching a student inappropriately will face a judge today. Louisville police say Samuel Barrett touched a female student in his freshman class at Fern Creek High School. His arrest citation does not say exactly when the abuse happened.
I spoke with my son about it. He had him last semester, supposed to have him next semester, and he said that everybody he's talked to, all of his friends he's talked to, you know, that he was their favorite teacher. So that's what has got me confused.
A spokesperson for Jefferson County Public Schools says Barrett remains on the payroll but won't be teaching while the investigation continues.
The time now 6:37 here on WKYT, and State Senate Majority Leader Damon Thayer's ex-fiancee claims he used his position of power to threaten her. Tanya Branham has filed a lawsuit claiming Thayer threatened to have the Administrative Office of the Courts stop her from serving as a Families in Transition counselor. The Georgetown News graphic also says she claims Thayer kept police from filing a report after an argument back in December. Thayer has filed a lawsuit of his own against Branham over ownership of the home they share. A young woman was killed. Her child then rushed to the hospital after a Casey County crash. The coroner says 21-year-old Amber Sanders pulled out in front of another car on US 127 and Kentucky 70. Sanders' car was hit on the driver's side and she died at the hospital. Her 1-year-old daughter was taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital simply as a precaution. She's eventually believed to be okay. McKinney Brown Funeral Home in Liberty is handling Sanders' arrangements.
Well, former University of Louisville football coach Charlie Strong has been asked to testify in a board member's divorce case. Louisville Television reports that trustee Jonathan Blue's attorney says the Texas coach is a critical witness in his divorce case against Tracy Blue. Blue's attorney is requesting that all text messages between Strong and his estranged wife be turned over in the case. He's also asking Strong return clothing and jewelry Tracy Blue allegedly gave him. Strong says he is not involved in the couple's divorce.
A group of online hackers is declaring war on the Cincinnati Police Department. Anonymous says it has released personal information of the police chief and more than 50 of his officers. It's in response to last week's deadly shooting of Paul Gaston. Police say Gaston was not complying with their orders and reached for a weapon in his waistband. That weapon turned out to be a pellet gun. Anonymous claims police shot and killed Gaston because he was black.
The expansion of alcohol sales is up for a vote in Harrodsburg this week. Tomorrow, voters will decide whether or not to expand alcohol sales in restaurants that seat at least 50 people. Right now, only restaurants that seat at least 100 people can sell alcohol by the drink.
The Hazard Police Department welcoming their newest officer to the force this week. Officer John Holbrook graduated from the Academy in Richmond on Friday, and Sunday he joined the Hazard Police Department. He's on patrol now. Holbrook says his goal is to help get drugs off the streets. 3 officers from Friday's graduating class will be joining the Hazard Police Department.
A good deed by Lexington police has gone viral. Officers took some time out of their day to play a pickup game with some kids earlier in the week in the Kenwick neighborhood. 11-year-old Mason and 10-year-old Kane thought they were in trouble when the officers came up to them. That was until those officers asked if they could get in on the football as well. The boys say it's a game they won't forget.
At first it was kind of hard to tell his team, so he took the tape, the
Security tape?
Yeah, and he put it around our team's arm.
Well, one of the boys says that he kept that tape and has it hanging on his door. Isn't that sweet? The Lexington Police Department says it encourages officers to be engaged with the community, and it sounds like they're accomplishing that.
Yeah, it certainly does. And Chief Mark Barnard certainly says this is a very important thing to him, that officers be involved in the community, and that's one of the ways they're doing it.
I love how the boys kept the tape as a souvenir. That's
yeah,
cute, you know?
Right, they'll never forget that.
Let's check traffic right now.
Our time this morning is 6:39, and here is Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Following the circle on the inner and outer loops, and at the moment, I don't see any problems, even past Versailles Road. Had some debris in the roadway earlier. That's been cleared, so we're okay through there. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you right now what to expect as far as traffic flow is concerned. Inbound from Nicholasville past Man o' War, no major issues toward downtown. Same deal on Richmond Road. As far as drive times go, with no wrecks in the way, it should be a pretty normal ride in for you if you're leaving Nicholasville, 13 minutes or so. Inbound Harrodsburg Road looks pretty good, too. Paris Pike about 18. Winchester will take 21. And looks like from Madison County, about 30 across the Clays Ferry Bridge. Now back back to you in the studio.
Okay, should be a good ride in. We thank you very much. And our time is 6:40, 20 before 7 as you hop to it here on your Monday morning. A lot more coming up on WKYT this morning.
Well, it is not your average day at the park. We'll show you how one tournament is combining a popular sport with some winter fun.
Things are relatively quiet in the past, I would say the next 48 hours, that is. And then we hit midweek. Here comes some rain and here comes some snow. We're going to go over those totals coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, nothing really going on this morning. No fog issues, nothing there on the roadway, so we're good to go as we step out the doors this morning. Southern half of the viewing area, that's where it actually feels okay. We're in the low to mid 40s. And believe it or not, we're actually in the mid 40s for your typical high toward the afternoon. So we're already reaching that. But then you go into central zones in northern Kentucky. Now you're talking about some chilly conditions. 35 now in Lexington, 34 there as you travel down I-64. We get into your afternoon, we'll be in the 40s and 50s. And then we go off into Tuesday. We're in the 50s for everybody, maybe even squeezing out a couple of 60s down in southern Kentucky. But during the daylight hours, I call it just mostly cloudy. Actually, a really good day in store. Still a small chance of rain. I'd say 20 to 30% during the daylight hours. Off into the evening and night, that's when things start to change. And depending on if you really like rain or you really like snow, it's changing for the worse. Probably not the best. Here's the look across the region going off into Wednesday. Now you're talking about widespread rain. So Tuesday night, the heavy rain picks up. Everybody will get in on the mix on Wednesday for some rain, anywhere from 1 to 2 inch totals, rainfall totals, not snow totals, okay? But then look what happens. The rain switches over into snow around midnight Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. So what does that mean for you? Well, that means that the kids, there's that possibility of being out of school once again on Thursday. So possibility of the kids being home, possibility of you having some troubles going off into work on Thursday. Widespread snow showers expected as we wrap around that moisture there as we go off into Thursday. 1 to 3 inches is what I'm leaning toward right now. 4 days out. We have plenty of time to iron out these details. But as of right now, I'm just giving you these numbers. 1 to 3 inches is what I'm leaning toward as this storm system moves on in. But here's your heavy rain total. I mean, this is what we're going to be looking at, not just with the snow there on Thursday, but Wednesday is going to be very sloppy too. And remember, it starts Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, 1 to 2 inches of rain, and then 1 to 3 inches of snow on Thursday. So it's going to be an active midweek. The next 2 days, not so much. I mean, next couple of days, today and tomorrow, actually pretty calm, pretty quiet. But then we hit Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's when things start to go downhill from there. But the next 3 days, look at those temperatures. Yes, we're getting cooler air, but we're coming from 70 degrees like we had Saturday. I was just showing you guys a video. Man, we stayed outside all day long on Saturday. It was a beautiful weekend in store. But it looks like we're going to go back to at least a winter pattern just for the moment. This isn't a pattern that settles in for 3 to 5 days. It settles in 2 to 3 days, and then we actually jump back up next weekend to the 40s and 50s.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to look at it, really.
You got a good workout out of Saturday, didn't you?
I did.
Pulling your...
To pull the little man on his tricycle. He doesn't know how to pedal yet, okay? He's only 2, all right? Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, looked like a lot of fun. Our time this morning is 6:46.
Well, it's a combination of a day at the ballpark and a day at the races.
Snow and slush were flying at a snowmobile softball competition in Wisconsin Sunday. Basically, slow-pitch softball played on a snowmobile. There are rules that are specific to the sport. Fielders have to keep their sled turned off. The batter stands in the circle, and players on base can't start their sled until the ball is hit. At times, the action looks a little chaotic, but players say that's all part of the game.
It's awesome. You gotta try it once, and you'll get addicted to it.
It's just a good time that people get out to get cabin fever and get out here and enjoy winter a little bit.
Good headwear there as well. The players say it's all fun and games as long as you don't smack up your sled. Some of the players are using $10,000 sleds to play, so fixing the damage could be expensive. But it looks like they had a pretty good time up there.
They said you got to make the most of winter. Well, I hope that they do up there in Wisconsin.
Right. Winters are pretty long up there.
Yes, they are.
No doubt. All right, 6:47 on WKYT on your Monday morning.
We have more news. Stay with us.
Coming up, the latest on the Uber driver suspected in the deadly Kalamazoo shooting rampage. We're in Michigan with the search for a motive. Plus, will a shrinking GOP field help or hurt Donald Trump in Nevada? More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
The time is 6:50, 10 till 7 on WKYT.
Still to come, girl power.
As American Girl turns 30, a reveal of their newest doll at its flagship store. That and a whole lot more coming up very shortly here on CBS This Morning.
We were working with Lexington police to find out more about an early morning robbery.
It happened about an hour ago, and we were live on the air this morning when the crime happened about 6 o'clock. Police say a man robbed the Bluegrass Extended Stay Hotel on Richmond Road. Police are still looking for that suspect.
A Jessamine County mother is in jail accused of leaving her toddler home alone for at least 9 hours. Police say Nina Pike told them she left her 3-year-old alone because she had to work. Neighbors around the young girl saw her wandering around outside the home. Pike is charged with criminal abuse. Happening today, a man accused in a deadly Jackson County stabbing will face a judge. Police say Harry Henson stabbed the victim during a fight at a home on Bailey Road. He is charged with murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment. A witness said Henson stabbed the victim after accusing him of stealing medication.
Bill Cosby's wife is slated to answer questions under oath in a defamation lawsuit brought against her husband by 7 women. Camille Cosby is scheduled to be questioned by a lawyer for the women at a Springfield Marriott in Massachusetts. Lawyers for the Cosbys had failed to get that deposition quashed.
The 45-year-old suspect arrested in connection with the weekend rampage that left 6 people dead in Kalamazoo, Michigan, is due in court today. Jason Dalton is expected to be arraigned on murder charges. He was arrested early Sunday morning after a massive manhunt. The fight of words between Apple and the Justice Department continues. FBI Director James Comey says the Bureau owes it to the victims of San Bernardino's terror attack to do what it can to gain access to a locked cell phone used by one of the gunmen. Apple has refused to cooperate.
This morning, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have some momentum after big victories over the weekend in South Carolina and in Nevada.
While Republican presidential candidates now turning their attention to the West and the Democratic candidates focused on the South, Don Champion has the latest from the campaign trail.
It was a good weekend for the frontrunners in the race for the White House. Off a big win in Saturday's South Carolina primary, Donald Trump talked about the emerging 3-man race for the Republican nomination.
I'm dealing with very, very talented people, smart people, good people, and, I think, they'll be competing. We still have competition.
Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio are essentially fighting for second place as the Republicans turn their attention to the Nevada caucuses. Both are courting the Latino vote.
Each generation before us confronted their problems. They didn't leave their problems for their kids. They solved their problems.
If you look at the Hispanic community right now, few communities have been hurt harder by the disastrous Obama-Clinton economy.
On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton has gained momentum after a solid victory in Saturday's Nevada caucuses. She's now hoping to solidify support in the dozen states that will vote on Super Tuesday, March 1st.
Something really special is happening here.
Bernie Sanders is hoping to bounce back with wins in Oklahoma, Colorado, Minnesota, and his home state of Vermont.
We are going to see the results of one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States.
But first, he and Clinton have to get through Saturday's Democratic primary in South Carolina. Don Champion, CBS News.
Is getting interesting. On the Democratic side, more than half the votes needed to win the nomination will be determined in 28 states that hold primaries and caucuses at the beginning of March. Well, strangers came to the rescue of a man trapped in a burning car on a Tennessee highway. Witnesses say a Jeep was sideswiped by another car, pushing it down a hill and into a pole. The car burst into flames that spread pretty quickly. This is in Memphis. People who saw what happened rushed to the aid of the driver, who could not get out of the burning Jeep.
Find anything but a gallon of water, so I went back to try to wet him, so if the fire got inside the car, maybe it wouldn't burn him as bad or keep him as moist as he could possibly be.
Well, it took several minutes, but they were able to rescue that trapped man. He was taken to the hospital. The only thing left in the completely burned up vehicle was a Bible sitting on the front seat.
And a scary scene there beside the highway. Time this morning is 6:55. We'll keep you right up to the minute all day long on WKYT.com. Over in Bourbon County, there will be a public meeting going on in a couple of hours to address the fact that 6 police officers have been suspended. They want that to be lifted. We'll be on top of that story throughout the day. Also trending, the woman arrested in Nicholasville for leaving her 3-year-old daughter home alone for hours while she went off to work. Our story includes comments from neighbors who say they would have helped out if they had known the situation. Well, Well, some pictures have gone viral of Lexington police officers stopping off and playing some football with some kids in the Kenwick neighborhood. Our news crew stopped by as well. We talked about the big game and the positive impression left by the officers on those young boys over there. The Republican presidential campaign rolls on. Jeb Bush dropped out after another poor showing in South Carolina. And a web poll is asking whether you're aware that Kentucky Republicans will hold a caucus on Saturday, March 5th. About 58% say yes, but that leaves more than 40% who are not aware of the Kentucky contest. Kentucky.com has been looking into how large landowners are getting benefits intended for working farms, whether it's used for that or not. The three-part series looks into a loophole that is shifting the tax burden over to others. And CBS This Morning is coming up shortly with your eye-opener, and of course we'll have local updates. Join us on Facebook. There they are at CBS Broadcast Center getting ready to go. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
Kind of depends on where you are this morning. Southern half in the 40s, other areas sitting there in the 30s. There is a chill in the air as you step out the door this morning. Light coat will be needed. There by the afternoon, guys, it's 47 degrees. Southern half in the lower 50s. Pretty nice day in store, not all that bad. We do it again tomorrow, and then it gets active toward Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, active he says. All right, nobody is more up to date than you to start your day. Kentucky Mornings start on WKYT.
Goodbye.